So today I wanted to introduce you to my new dog and kind of talk a little bit about my old dog. So, um, when I moved into this house almost 4 years ago, this was my great grandpa's house, and he had been in and out of a nursing home in the hospital for about 2 years previous to that. And so Sam, my old dog, was uh, his dog and was in this house by herself. Now, I want you to know she was completely taken care of. She was entertained. She was fed. My grandparents lived uh, about, I don't know, maybe 100 feet from this house at the time, and so they came over and took care of her. She did not get along with their cat at all, so they were unable to take her. Um, but I got her when he passed away, and when I moved into this house, and she was very, very special to me, for that reason that it was my grandpa's, and she had the most amazing personality. She was, as far as we can tell, around 10 or 11 when she passed. She got very sick the night before, um, and I took her to the vet, and the vet thought she had an obstruction in her bowel, which she did. Um, and I was given something to help her pass it on her own, and unfortunately she didn't, so she went in for a very expensive but necessary surgery, and they found tumors um, pretty much all over, and they said she had maybe a month to 2 months to live. And that was very hard for me, and they said she was going to be in a lot of pain, and up until then she had not shown any symptoms, and he said that it was basically going to be the same and just keep going downhill from there. And so I made the very hard decision to put her to sleep, and it was very hard for me, and she was there for me. I live in this house pretty much. I do have a roommate, but by myself because we work opposite schedules. As example, I work during the day and she works nights. So someone's always here, but we overlap maybe for 15 minutes of the day, and then when one of us has a day off. So we maybe get to see each other max 2 days a week and not even the whole days because of our work schedule. Um, so it was very hard losing her. She was a great companion and friend to me. She was very special. She had such a great personality. She was sassy, and she liked being held like a child. And I wish I was able to kind of introduce you guys to her. She was amazing. And when she passed away, the animal shelter uh, cremated her. I cremated her, but they put her in a nice, beautiful box and had her name engraved on a metal plate on the box. And so I have her favorite toy that I took when I put her to sleep, and her collar and that box is what I kept of hers, along with her bedding, because it was really good in shape bedding, so I didn't see the need to get rid of it. But um, that's what I kept of her things that I still have, and I'm not going to show you any of that because it is kind of in my room, and it's just kind of something for me. It's not for everyone to see. If you ever see it, that's fine and that's great, but it's not something I'm going to take out and show you. But it was very necessary for me to get another dog. I realized I was going to wait for a while, and I needed a dog. I needed a dog. I didn't like being alone all the time. Uh, it's something to talk. It's a dog. As you talk to it, you interact with it. It's something that I needed, especially on my debt-free journey, because I don't interact a lot with friends. I obviously do with family, but I don't with friends or things like that because I'm working and not going out to spend money. So I was very lonely here by myself all the time. And so I decided I did need a dog sooner rather than later. And uh, I had a lot of people, not a lot, I shouldn't say that, about half the people that I told that I was going to start looking for a dog were really supportive, and others were like, are you ready for a dog? And I think the best way to explain it is I'm not replacing my other dog. Sam will always be a part of my life, and I'm not replacing her. I'm just adding a new addition. And so that is something that I feel like some people don't realize. I'm not pushing her to the side or forgetting about her. It's just something that I'm adding another dog to my life, you know? And so I got Ivy. Originally, her name was Penny. She was a shelter dog, or she was with POW, which, to be perfectly honest, I forgot what it stands for. But she was with an organization. She was surrendered by her owner about 2 months before I got her due to health reasons. That's all I know, is the person had some health issues and was unable to keep her. So they surrendered her. So she had been in what I'm assuming is a loving home up until that point. Based on her personality, I definitely say it was a loving home. And I went to 3 different places. I spent a Saturday looking, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to find a dog that day, and if I didn't, that's what happened. But the 3rd place I walked into, I saw her, and she was the first dog I saw there. And I did go ahead and look around, and I found 2 other dogs that I also wanted to look at. She was the first one I got out. I loved her. I loved her to death. She's definitely smaller than my other dog. Sam was a Jack Russell Terrier, and she was very, number one, she was very muscly, but she also had very long legs. And so Ivy is much smaller than I'm used to. I will show her in a little bit, but I want to kind of explain my story. And the second dog I looked at was too close to my Sam, and I actually started crying in it was at a PetSmart. Just so you know, our PetSmarts where I was going in Tulsa, where I was looking at the dogs, we went to 3 different PetSmarts, and the PetSmarts on Saturday have Adoption Day, which is when different organizations and shelters come in and bring dogs that are being fostered or in shelters for adoption. So I did get her at PetSmart, but not through PetSmart. PetSmart, to my knowledge, does not sell dogs anywhere. But yes, so I did adopt her, and I started crying in the PetSmart when I saw it. So that dog went back, and the 3rd dog I looked at was even smaller than Ivy was, and just was way too small for me. So I put her back and went to Ivy. Again, her name was Penny, and she fit all of my criteria. Because I work far away, I needed a dog that was not a puppy. I needed one that was potty trained, if not almost potty trained. I needed one that was, I kind of was wanting a female. I think if I had found a male that fit everything that I wanted, other than obviously male, I would have accepted it. But I really was kind of looking for a female at this time, and I needed one that was around the same size as Sam. I couldn't go any bigger just because it would be more expensive for shots and the medicines and food and stuff like that, and just I cannot afford it at this time. I love big dogs, but that was not something I knew I could afford, and I knew that I couldn't offer it a big backyard to play in that was fenced in. Right now, Ivy is on a leash that she can run around the yard, but it's not fenced in, and then she goes to my grandparents and runs around there. But I didn't think that was fair to a large dog. So that was kind of my criteria. I needed a dog that had personality, and she did. So I got Ivy. and she's actually currently sleeping. I'm going to wake her up, so I'm trying to let her sleep as long as possible. But my mom went ahead and got her a monkey. So just so you know what she has, obviously food and water and a bedding. She currently is in a crate during the day while I'm at work. I'm hoping to be able to let her out later on, and then she does sleep with me at night, which is another thing that I wanted. So she does sleep with me at night. She got a new collar with her tags and everything. She already came with shots, and she was already fixed and in really good health. She was $275, which is on the higher end of, I think, the dogs that I've seen up for adoption, but completely worth it to me. She also came with her first month that I got her of her flea and tick medication and her heartworm. So that's really good. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, she's 3 years old. I did not notice until yesterday that on the paperwork she was born the day after I got her 3 years before. So she was a little over 2.5 when she was surrendered to the pet adoption place, and I got her the day before her birthday, her 3rd birthday. So I'm very excited. So my mom got her this. She has a leash and a collar that she also got. They match. They're beautiful blue. My grandparents for Christmas bought her this little lamb, which is kind of an inside joke with my family because Ivy looks like a dog that I grew up with that also passed just 2 or 3 months before Sam did, and she was 14. So she had a lamb chop. Is what we called it, and it was a lamb toy that she absolutely loved to death, and it was actually completely falling apart, but we couldn't get rid of her because we couldn't find something that she loved as much to replace it. So my grandparents got her a lamb chop, and yes, we give our dog toys names. So this is Monkey. This is pretty basic. This is Lamb Chop, and I've yet to name the last toy that they got her, but it's easier because my old dog could identify which toy I was asking her to go get to play with by that, so just simple one-word names really helps. So this is the last toy. My aunt, uncle, and cousins got this for her as a welcome to the family. It's crinkly. It's got squeakers. It's pretty much the length that she is, so it's hilarious watching her carry it around. But yeah, so I will introduce you to Ivy. I'm going to grab her. She's right over here, so just give me a second to get her. So this is Ivy. Hi. She licks my face, which is one thing I would like her to stop doing. But as you can see, she has a beautiful blue collar, and she has a leash to match. She is 15 pounds, so a little bit lighter than any dog that I've ever had before. Definitely the smallest dog. I woke her up from a nap. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Thank you. But she's really calm. Here, I can give you like a full view of her. She's really calm. She is a Dachshund Terrier mix. So she has a longer body, but a terrier face for sure. I'm sorry. I woke her up. And this is her brush. She absolutely loves being brushed, so I'm going to brush her while I talk to you guys. So she is great. She's very, very protective, which is good. My roommate getting home late at night is a little bit weird because she wants to protect me, which is good, but my old dog was used to my roommate coming home at night, so she's not used to that yet, so she barks at her and wakes me up, but that's okay. So she does bark. My other dog didn't really bark a lot. She does have great personality. She's definitely a lap dog, so I'm thinking maybe the person that had her before was maybe a little older, because she seems to want to be beside me at all times, on my lap, doing anything. Like right now she's kind of sitting partly on my lap, but I just think that she is a great dog. I really highly encourage anyone that is looking for a dog to to adopt a dog, because there's so many dogs that need homes. I mean, there's different stories. There's obviously animals that have been abused or that have gotten sick, and then there's animals that have just been surrendered. This little girl was in a great home and was unfortunately had to be surrendered because of health issues, and it's really sad because she doesn't know what happened to other owner. And so this is just I want to give them all the love, and I would love to have more dogs in the future. Right now I can just have one small dog, and that's all really I can do right now. But I highly encourage anyone to get a dog that from a shelter, adopt them instead of going and buying them, because and also if you want a pure-blooded animal, you can find those at shelters, but don't automatically throw out mixes either. I can say that Sam was not a mix. She was a pure Jack Russell, and I loved her to death, but all my other dogs that I've ever owned, and by that I mean my family's dogs, and also Ivy, have been mixes, and they're amazing. They have great personalities, and I also think they have less health issues personally. I don't know if that's a medical fact, so don't take my word on it, but I just feel like they have less medical problems, and they're unique too. And I think that their life before gives them, good or bad, gives them a personality, and it makes them being in your life that much better, because you know that you're giving them a better life and they love you and you love them. So make sure to give attention to your dog if you already have one. Think about getting one, or a cat, or whatever animal you want. But make sure, I think the biggest thing is that you can actually care for it, that you can actually love it, and because you don't want that dog to end up in a shelter like so many other dogs. So make sure to care for your animal. Make sure you can afford an animal, but I highly suggest you get one if you're in a position to do that, that you can afford them and take care of them. So I hope you guys have a great day or night or whatever time it is, and I will see you next time. Bye!